I decided to choose UCSB after I had gone my first year to UC Berkeley. I went to Berkeley because of the reputation and being able to commute from home. And after that year, I heard that UCSB had an engineering school starting the year that I was at Berkeley. So I came down and took a look at it, and I liked what I saw. And there were really three main reasons that I wanted to come here. One was I could take some of my EE classes in my second year rather than my third. Another, the classes were a lot smaller. And the other one, I wanted more professor contact. And I felt here I would get more classes where the professor was actually doing all of the teaching. And it turned out I ended up graduating in the first graduating class in 1965. When the students entered the year before I came in the freshman class, there were 126 of them, as I recall. And there were about 12 of us that graduated then 4 years later. So it was a fun, select group that we got to know each other well. And that certainly helped me in getting through UCSB. Now, in terms of establishing electrical engineering here at the university, by the time I came in the second year, they had a really good core of professors. And I never felt that I was lacking on the professors. And by the time I got to graduate school, we had a brand new building. That was EE1. And so it was really a nice building with all the right equipment and so on. So that worked well to get me interested, or keep my continued interest in UCSB. I had a lot of classes that I was interested in at UCSB, electromagnetic theory, microwaves, but the one I really was looking forward to as a graduate student was semiconductor electronics. I had done a lot of reading and studying, and I thought that would be a very interesting field to be in. And when I took that class in my graduate year, it really clicked with me. And even though I had a lot of other disciplines of interest, I knew at that time that that was the one I was going to go forward with. For new college engineering students, I think back to when I came to UCSB in my second year, and the first thing on my mind was getting a good grounding in the fundamentals, because that'll stay with you through your whole life. And so that was one of my initial focuses. I was lucky enough in my career to do 2 startups, and both of them were successful. They had an initial public offering. And what I found as a challenge is that a startup company is fairly vulnerable to the markets, the employees you are able to hire, to the market conditions. And so it tends to be a little more of a rocky road. If you're interested in that, though, it is just a lot of fun. It's very exciting. In terms of research, one of the companies, which was one of the startup companies I was in, Actel Corporation, was a company developing CMOS field programmable gate arrays, and it required a very new process based on what we called at that time anafuses. And I was involved more in the development and the designing of it. And the products we developed in these field programmable gate arrays ended up going into the Mars Pathfinder mission in 1997. And that's where the Pathfinder went to Mars. The little rover Sojourner came off of the Pathfinder and rolled around the Mars landscape and drilled holes and collected soil samples. So it enabled, in a way, a lot of research related to the soil conditions of Mars. And for us, it was an advanced product that nobody else had at that time. So it was research oriented from that point of view. In my career, I looked for ways over the years of doing some collaboration with UCSB, but I was based in New York initially, and then a little bit later in my career I was in Texas, and I just couldn't find a practical way of doing that. However, over the years, UCSB has been in my mind a lot, and so I've given and donated over the years, and I also had matching grants from most of the companies I worked for over the years. In later years, that ended up being basically a matching grant from the schools, and I focused it on the EE department, electrical engineering, just so that they could get the money. And then following that, my wife and I have UCSB in our will.